What's going on, Excel Fanatics? Verdexes here. I am making another video from this formula tutorial. It's a little bit longer than I thought, but I wanted to kind of take some time on each tab. So last time I went over the date and time tab, I think I got a little cut off at the end. It gets interesting from up here, the date function. These are definitely good to know. It gets really specific here on times. I might make a video on this, but I'm just letting you know if you end up downloading this, that's available for you to look at as well. I'm actually having a good time with these tutorials. So this one today I wanted to go over joining text and numbers. So I did a quick scroll through this before we even get into it. So this is kind of like the basic function to it. But this is essentially, from what I can tell, this is just doing something called concatenate. Which is a formula that is already pre-made in Excel. So I'm not sure why, because this almost seems more complicated to me, but let's just walk through. Okay, so in cell E3, enter D3 and C3. Equals D3. This is already done for me. Oh, yeah, okay. So using the ampersand and quotation marks, so it joined the names together and it did it in reverse order based on how you wanted it. Like the comma here is actually a comma, so that's what these quotation marks are encasing. They're actually, so this is one piece, if that makes sense. So that's the reason why, because it's not here. This is just supposed to represent a space. Because otherwise, if you don't have something like that in between, there's going to be no space there. So that's just to kind of make it look better. So I'm just doing Control Z on those and just editing. So I hope that made sense how I tried to explain it. So on part 2 here, Smith Nancy, it doesn't look quite right. We need to add a comma and a space. Oh, so I'm like, I think I'm one step ahead of these automatically. So yeah, so that's what this part represents, like I was just talking about. They're just talking about adding because if you put it in one word like that, then yeah, right, that doesn't look right, especially if you're dealing with names. So this shows you how to fix that in that regard. I wonder if I can just I'm just going to go ahead and just show you guys the concatenate formula. So if you do equals, it's a long name to remember, so maybe I'm just used to it, I guess. But to me, this is just a more simple way to do it. So say if I do the last name, so I actually have to put a comma in here. So maybe this is more confusing. But so I put the comma here because I'm filling in the criteria. I'm putting just very similarly, putting the comma and the space in there, right? So there's a difference between the comma from text 1 and then the comma that I have in the quotation marks. Because each one of these, text 1, text 2, text 3, is going to be everything combined into one. So if I just click Andy, close the parentheses, it came out the same, right? So that's why. So if I go ahead and if I just get rid of this middle part again, keeping the commas, right? So because the comma separates the criteria, so it's separating text 1, text 2, so which is the individual cells. So very similarly, like up here, if we take the comma out and the space, then it doesn't really look right, right? So that's why we have that in there. This is just preference at this point, so if it's easier to remember to use the ampersand, then use that. I just like to use the concatenate. I'm just more familiar with it, but they both do the same thing. So that's about it for as much time I had on the video. I hope this was helpful, and thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.